The darkness of space crackled with an urgent transmission. A small figure huddled in a dimly lit communication chamber, her trembling fingers dancing across holographic controls. Arya was just 12 cycles old, but she understood the gravity of her situation better than most adults. The colony of Eridanus 9 had been peaceful for generations. Nestled on the outer rim of explored space, it was a sanctuary for settlers who wanted nothing more than a quiet life among the stars. Farming platforms stretched across rocky terrain, and transparent dome cities reflected the light of twin moons. But today, everything was changing. Mercenary ships had appeared without warning. Their sleek, predatory vessels dropped from hyperspace, like metallic sharks, surrounding the colony's defensive perimeters. The initial attack was swift and brutal. Defensive systems crumbled within minutes, and the colonists' desperate resistance seemed futile against overwhelming firepower. Arya watched from the colony's central communication hub as her parents fought to protect their community. Her father, a veteran of planetary defense, coordinated evacuation protocols. Her mother, an engineer, worked frantically to redirect power and create temporary shields. But they both knew their chances were slim. The young girl's hands moved, with a precision beyond her years. She had been trained in emergency communication protocols, a skill her parents insisted she learn. Now those lessons became her lifeline. She began broadcasting a distress signal across multiple frequencies, her message simple but desperate. "Help," she repeated. "Colony under attack. Coordinates Eridanus 9. Civilian population in extreme danger." Most communication networks remained silent. Advanced civilizations nearby calculated risk assessments, political implications, potential economic costs. Diplomatic algorithms processed her plea and determined non-intervention was the safest strategy. Each passing moment reduced her colony's chances of survival. Outside the communication chamber, explosions painted the sky in terrible colors. Mercenary troops began landing, their combat suits gleaming under the harsh light of the twin moons. Arya could hear distant screams, the sound of infrastructure collapsing, the terrifying noise of a world being destroyed. Her transmission continued. She included detailed information about the attackers, their ship configurations, weapon signatures, landing zones. It was more than a cry for help, it was tactical intelligence that might save her people. Each word was carefully chosen, each data packet meticulously compressed to increase transmission reliability. As the room around her began to shake, Arya remained focused. She knew her chances of personal survival were minimal. But if her message could save even a fraction of her colony, she would consider her effort successful. Tears streamed down her face, but her hands remained steady on the communication controls. The mercenary attack was methodical. They weren't just conquering, they were systematically eliminating all resistance. Entire farming platforms disappeared in massive explosions. Dome cities cracked and collapsed, their protective environments rupturing and exposing inhabitants to the cruel vacuum of space. Arya's transmission continued. Hours passed. Her hope began to fade, but her determination did not. She knew that somewhere in the vast, cold universe, someone might be listening. Someone might care enough to respond. Little did she know that her message was traveling across light years, passing through countless communication relays. It would soon reach ears that would not just hear her plea but act upon it. Humanity, a species known for its unpredictable nature and surprising compassion, was about to receive her desperate call. In the communication hub of a dying colony, a 12-year-old girl became the last hope for an entire civilization. Her fingers continued to move, her message a beacon of resilience against the encroaching darkness of destruction and silence. The universe listened, and somewhere incredibly far away, someone was preparing to answer. The United Earth Central Command was a massive structure of gleaming titanium and quantum glass, located in the heart of New Geneva. Inside its bustling operations center, hundreds of communications specialists worked around the clock, monitoring galactic channels for potential threats and humanitarian emergencies. Captain Hyun Park sat at her primary station, her dark eyes scanning multiple holographic displays. She had served 15 years in the Humanitarian Intervention Fleet, a division dedicated to protecting vulnerable populations across known space. Most military branches focused on territorial defense or economic expansion, but this fleet was different. The transmission from Eridanus 9 caught her attention immediately. Most officers would have dismissed the signal as another routine distress call, but something in the message's composition, its precise technical details, the underlying desperation, made Park lean forward. She began running advanced algorithmic analysis. The communication pattern suggested a young sender, possibly a child. The technical precision contradicted the emotional transmission. Each data packet contained not just a cry for help, but strategic information about the attackers. "Command," she called to her senior operations manager. "I need a full evaluation of this transmission." Within minutes, a comprehensive report materialized. The colony's location was strategically insignificant. No major economic interests, no critical resource zones. Just a small settlement of peaceful settlers facing complete annihilation. Most spacefaring civilizations would calculate the intervention cost and walk away. The Zentari would analyze potential resource gains. The Kral Confederation would demand substantial payment. The Orion Cooperative would require extensive diplomatic negotiations. Humans were different. Park understood this wasn't about strategic value. This was about saving lives, about protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. She knew her next actions would require convincing multiple bureaucratic layers of Earth's government. The intervention proposal she drafted was meticulously constructed. Detailed risk assessments, projected resource requirements, potential diplomatic complications. But underlying all the technical language was a simple, powerful argument. Innocent lives were in danger. Earth's Humanitarian Council convened within hours. Representatives from various global regions listened to Park's presentation. Some argued against intervention, others supported immediate action. The debate was intense but focused. "We have the capability," Park explained. "We have the technology. More importantly, we have the moral responsibility." Her argument wasn't just technical. She presented the transmission's original recording, allowing the council to hear the young sender's desperate plea. The raw emotion cut through political calculations. The decision came swiftly. Full humanitarian intervention was approved. The United Earth Humanitarian Fleet would be mobilized. A rescue mission would be launched within 48 hours. Massive starships began preparation. The UES Resolute, a cutting-edge humanitarian vessel, would lead the mission. Its design was unique, capable of both intense combat and comprehensive medical support. Specialized teams were assembled: combat specialists, medical professionals, reconstruction experts. Park would personally lead the mission. She selected a diverse team representing multiple Earth regions and specialized skills. Their training went beyond traditional military protocols. They were prepared not just to fight but to rebuild, to heal, to protect. Communication networks across human territories buzzed with the developing mission. Unlike other civilizations that kept such operation secret, humans believed in transparency. Every citizen could follow the mission's progression, understanding the fundamental principle driving the intervention. As starships powered up and preparation teams worked around the clock, the mission represented more than a military operation. It was a statement about humanity's core values, a declaration that technological capability and compassionate action could coexist. The young girl's transmission had traveled millions of light years. What began as a desperate signal was transforming into a complex, multi-layered rescue mission. Humanity was about to show the galaxy something profound about its nature. Somewhere between Earth and Eridanus 9, hope was taking shape. Measured in starship fuel, medical supplies, and an unwavering commitment to protecting life, the UES Resolute dropped out of hyperspace like a phantom, its advanced stealth systems rendering it almost invisible against the dark backdrop of Eridanus 9's star system. Lieutenant Jaewon Lee stood on the bridge, his hand steady on the navigation controls, eyes focused on the holographic tactical display. Mercenary ships still surrounded the colony's remnants, believing their destruction was complete and uncontested. They were wrong. Humans had a unique approach to warfare, precise, calculated, and surprisingly compassionate. Tactical analysis, Lee commanded. Quantum computers processed massive amounts of data in microseconds. Ship configurations, weapon signatures, defense mechanisms, everything was mapped with incredible detail. The mercenary fleet, composed of modified commercial vessels retrofitted for combat, looked formidable but had critical vulnerabilities. The first strike was silent and devastating. Electromagnetic pulse weapons disabled communication systems across the mercenary fleet. Before they could comprehend what was happening, their primary power systems began shutting down. Advanced human technology transformed from defensive to offensive capabilities with frightening efficiency. Specialized combat teams prepared for deployment. Unlike traditional military units, these soldiers were trained not just in combat, but in emergency response, medical intervention, and rapid infrastructure reconstruction. Their equipment was a blend of advanced weaponry and humanitarian support systems. Jaewon's strategy was simple: disable without total destruction. Each mercenary vessel was systematically neutralized. Weapon systems were targeted. Propulsion mechanisms were compromised, but life support remained functional. The human approach wasn't about total annihilation, but strategic intervention. Drop pods launched from the Resolute, carrying specialized teams to critical colony zones. They moved with incredible precision, using advanced jump pack technology to navigate the complex, damaged terrain. Buildings that seemed destroyed became rescue zones. Collapsed structures were methodically searched and stabilized. Medical teams worked alongside combat specialists. Advanced nano-repair systems began healing infrastructure. Portable force field generators created safe zones. Emergency medical units used advanced healing technologies that could stabilize critical patients within minutes. The mercenary forces, suddenly facing an opponent they couldn't predict or understand, began to panic. Their communication networks were compromised. Their strategic advantage dissolved within hours. Humans fought with a combination of technological superiority and strategic restraint that seemed almost alien to traditional warfare concepts. Tracking systems revealed the mercenary leadership's location. Instead of immediate elimination, a precise capture operation was initiated. The leaders would face international judicial processes, not summary execution, another uniquely human approach to conflict resolution. Rescue operations continued around the clock. Teams worked tirelessly, pulling survivors from damaged structures, providing immediate medical support, creating temporary shelter. Every action was documented. Every intervention carefully managed to preserve both physical infrastructure and psychological well-being of survivors. Arya, the young girl who sent the original transmission, was located in a partially collapsed communication center. When human rescue teams found her, she was surrounded by emergency communication equipment, still attempting to send status updates. Her resilience matched the determination of her rescuers. As hours passed, the extent of human intervention became clear. This wasn't just a military operation. It was a comprehensive rescue and reconstruction mission. Medical facilities were being established. Temporary housing was being constructed. Communication networks were being rebuilt. The galaxy watched, in surprise. Most spacefaring civilizations viewed conflict as a zero-sum game. Humans demonstrated something different: the ability to intervene decisively while maintaining a fundamental commitment to preserving life. Lieutenant Lee watched the operation progress. Each successful rescue, each stabilized zone, represented more than a tactical victory. It represented a fundamental statement about humanity's potential. Technology wasn't just a weapon. It could be a tool of compassion. As the final mercenary vessels were neutralized and the colony's immediate threat was eliminated, a new phase of intervention was about to begin. Reconstruction, healing, rebuilding. The UES Resolute continued, its silent vigil over Eridanus 9, a testament to humanity's complex approach to conflict and compassion. In the vast, often cold universe, Humans had just shown that technology and empathy could be powerful allies. Captain Hyun Park walked through the temporary medical facility, her boots making soft sounds against the sterile floor. Rows of advanced healing chambers lined the walls, each containing survivors from the destroyed colony. The facility was a marvel of human medical technology, capable of treating multiple species with remarkable precision. Arya sat in a special observation room, her small frame wrapped in a thermal blanket. Her eyes, once filled with terror, now showed a mixture of curiosity and cautious hope. Medical scanners had confirmed she was physically unharmed, but the psychological trauma was evident. Park approached slowly, understanding the delicate nature of first contact with a traumatized child. She carried a small translation device, designed to bridge not just language gaps, but emotional barriers. The device could read subtle biological responses, helping to create more empathetic communication. "You're safe now," Park said, her voice calm and steady. The translation device converted her words, adjusting tone and pitch to be most comforting to Arya's species. The young girl looked up. She had watched these humans save her entire colony when no other civilization would even respond to her distress call. Her understanding of heroism was being completely rewritten. Medical teams worked around them. Advanced healing pods used nanotechnology to repair cellular damage. Psychological support systems monitored each survivor's mental state. Unlike other civilizations that saw medical treatment as a purely technical process, humans understood the importance of emotional healing. Arya's story began to emerge. Her colony was a peaceful settlement of researchers and agricultural specialists. They had developed unique terraforming technologies that could transform harsh planetary environments. The mercenary attack wasn't just about destruction, it was about stealing their technological innovations. Park listened carefully. She understood that listening was as important as any tactical intervention. Each survivor's story was a piece of a larger understanding. Humanity's strength wasn't just in its technological capabilities, but in its ability to truly understand other experiences. The medical facility became more than a treatment center. It was a place of reconstruction. Language specialists worked to help survivors communicate. Cultural experts helped process their trauma. Psychological support teams used advanced holographic therapy techniques to help survivors begin healing. Arya showed remarkable resilience. She began helping other survivors, using her communication skills to bridge gaps between different colony groups. The humans watched in amazement as this young girl, who had just survived a complete destruction of her home, became a source of strength for others. Days passed. The colony's infrastructure began to take shape. Temporary habitats rose from the damaged landscape. Agricultural reconstruction teams used advanced technologies to begin restoring food production. Energy systems were rebuilt with unprecedented efficiency. Park noticed something unique happening. The survivors weren't just being rescued, they were being empowered. Educational programs were established. Technology transfer initiatives began. The humans weren't treating them as victims, but as potential partners. Arya became a bridge between her people and their human rescuers. Her natural communication skills and quick intelligence made her a unique interpreter of both cultures. She began documenting the rescue, creating a comprehensive record of human intervention. The galaxy watched with growing interest. Most civilizations viewed humanitarian missions as short-term interventions. Humans were demonstrating a long-term commitment to comprehensive recovery. It wasn't just about saving lives, it was about creating sustainable futures. As reconstruction continued, something profound was happening. The survivors of Eridanus 9 were experiencing a fundamental transformation. They were learning that the universe could be a place of unexpected kindness, that technology could be a tool of compassion. Park watched Arya help another young survivor with medical equipment. The girl's movements were confident, her spirit unbroken. In that moment, the true impact of their mission became clear. They hadn't just saved a colony. They had shown a fundamental truth about potential, about hope. The unexpected connection, between a human captain and a young alien survivor represented something bigger than any single rescue mission. It was a moment of genuine understanding, a bridge between species, a demonstration that compassion could be the most powerful technology of all. 10 years after the rescue of Eridanus 9, the galaxy looked different. Arya stood on the diplomatic platform of the Galactic Council, representing not just her people, but a new understanding of interstellar cooperation. The rescued colony had transformed. What was once a small agricultural settlement was now a beacon of technological innovation. Human support hadn't just rebuilt their world, it had given them tools to reimagine their entire civilization. Advanced terraforming technologies developed by their researchers were now helping transform harsh planetary environments across multiple star systems. Diplomatic channels buzzed with discussions about the unique human intervention. Other spacefaring civilizations struggled to understand a rescue mission that went beyond immediate tactical advantages. The Zentari calculation models couldn't process a strategy based on pure humanitarian principles. The Kral Confederation found the concept of risking resources for unknown populations completely incomprehensible. Arya's personal journey became a symbol of this transformation. She had grown from a terrified child broadcaster into a sophisticated, diplomatic representative. Her speeches at the Galactic Council became legendary, clear, direct, and impossible to ignore. She spoke about the day humans answered her call, not as a moment of rescue, but as a fundamental shift in understanding. United Earth's reputation changed dramatically. Previously seen as an unpredictable and somewhat aggressive species, humans were now recognized as complex problem solvers. Their technological capabilities were matched by an unprecedented commitment to comprehensive problem resolution. The economic impact was surprising. The rescued colony became a hub of technological innovation. Their research centers, rebuilt with human support, produced breakthrough technologies in planetary reconstruction, medical treatment, and communication systems. What began as a rescue mission had created an entirely new economic ecosystem. Diplomatic records showed something unprecedented. The human intervention on Eridanus 9 became a case study in comprehensive humanitarian support. Military academies across different civilizations began studying the operation, not as a combat mission, but as a complex problem-solving exercise. Captain Hyun Park, now a senior diplomatic advisor, watched these developments with quiet satisfaction. The mission had been about more than saving a single colony. It represented a fundamental approach to interstellar relations, one based on genuine understanding and long-term support. The technological transfers between humans and the Eridanus 9, survivors created unexpected innovations. Medical technologies developed during the rescue became standard across multiple species. Communication protocols designed during the reconstruction became galactic standards. Arya's personal story became a powerful narrative. She spoke at educational institutions, diplomatic conferences, and technological summits. Her message was consistent: that technology without compassion is meaningless, that rescue is more than just immediate survival. The mercenary groups that originally attacked the colony found themselves increasingly isolated. The galactic community, inspired by the human intervention, began implementing more robust protection protocols for vulnerable settlements. Economic sanctions made such attacks financially impossible. United Earth's approach became a model of interstellar engagement. Other civilizations began reassessing their own intervention strategies. The concept of humanitarian support transformed from a marginal consideration to a primary diplomatic strategy. Research showed remarkable long-term effects. Colonies rescued or supported by humans showed significantly higher recovery rates. Their technological adaptability increased. Their community resilience became a benchmark for planetary reconstruction. During a special commemoration, Arya stood beside Captain Park. The image was powerful. A young alien who had once sent a desperate transmission, now a respected diplomatic leader, standing with the human who had answered her call. The galaxy had changed. What began as a single rescue mission had become a fundamental shift in how civilizations understood cooperation, compassion, and technological potential. As stars continued their ancient dance, humanity had written a new chapter in interstellar relations, not through conquest but through an unexpected combination of technological capability and genuine compassion. The message was clear. In the vast, often cold universe, hope could be the most powerful technology of all.